The good news is that Wrath of the Titans is much better than the first film, Clash of the Titans. The bad news is that's mostly because you can actually see what's happening. The first film was a huge sword and sandals effects spectacular that was almost completely ruined in post when the director decided to take 3 weeks before the film was going to come out, or 4 weeks, and have the whole thing converted to 3D. And in the process, making it almost unwatchable. The second film, the sequel, was intelligently shot in 3D, and it looks much better than the first film. It, of course, is a big effects-driven sword and sandals epic where Perseus fights a bunch of titans alongside his dad Zeus and his dad's sons and brothers and cousins, the other Greek gods. And they're fighting the granddaddy of all gods, who is their father, who they locked in Tartarus, who's now coming out for some reason that's kind of hard to understand, really. I can't remember their dad's name. That's why I didn't say it in that really long sentence earlier. The effects are really good. There's a couple of sequences that are just fantastic visually. A big, giant beast man made of fire attacking legions of Grecian soldiers in the field with a flying horse throwing a lightning bolt. And it all looks really cool, but the problem is with all of these effects and being able to see everything clearly is it shows up just how bad the actual storytelling in the film is. Everything is utterly consequence-free. The characters are all gods or demigods, and they just hammer and tongs on each other in an array of Greek temples. Sam Worthington's character, the ostensible hero, although there's nothing heroic about him because he's just his only motivation as a person is just to protect his son, which he does by leaving his son behind in a village to go fight monsters. He gets his head hammered through like 7 different marble plinths in one fight. Like through a column, through a plinth over here, through a plinth over there. One time they carefully set his head up on a plinth and go boom, and it cracks the plinth underneath his head. And all of this is supposed to be gripping and moving because he's getting beat up so bad, except the movie doesn't ever bother to define its terms as a piece of fantasy fiction. It never says he's a god, which means he can have his head busted through 9 plinths, but that 10th plinth will definitely kill him. The whole thing is consequence-free because everyone involved is indestructible and free from any motivation beyond what they say they want to do. The villain shows up at the end, the giant lumbering fire beast, raging the whole time, going ah, rah, rah, but it's in another language because they didn't bother to write dialogue for the character. You know he's mad because they keep referring to him all through the movie as the mad guy. He's angry because he's been in jail, and when he gets out, he just goes because the screenwriters couldn't be bothered to have, a script where the bad guy, is anything other than a giant fire beast. The characters aren't characters, they're just stand-ins. The whole thing is mechanical, robotic, and utterly craven, just a complete soulless cash-in on the fact that they can tell a story that's just an excuse to put some effects up on a screen. It's a horrible movie that's still somehow better than the first one. So what should you watch instead? Watch a movie that ends with a climactic battle against a giant rage beast that goes ba-da-doo-doo throughout the city. That does have consequences because it's made from a script that has actual characters with actual motivations that interact in a way that seems reminiscent of the way that humans deal with each other in reality. And watch Ghostbusters and replace the giant beast at the end of Wrath of the Titans with the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, who is not as cool looking, unfortunately, but about 30 times scarier.